Welcome everybody. In Harvest League, I came up with the idea of using the Explode mod to ignite and then chain those explosions while playing with Righteous Fire, because Righteous Fire scales a bunch of fire dot multi and fire damage over time, which works really well with Ignite. That way, without going into Ignite, we can scale it and chain explosions. This worked great in Harvest League because it was super easy to make an Explode chest. Without Harvest League, Explode chests are extremely rare, they're extremely expensive, and they're hard to come by. But just while basically trying to figure out what I wanted to do for the upcoming Flashback League, I came up with the idea of using Inpulsas with Storm's Gift and Stormfire to get the same effect of an Explode chest. These uniques, well, Stormfire and Storm's Gift are generally like 1 Alch, 1 Chaos uniques. These are super cheap. Inpulsas is expensive in the first week of the league, but it generally becomes cheap after that and should also be pretty easy to acquire. So the way this works is Inpulsas makes enemies that are shocked explode for about 5% of their life as lightning damage. Then we use Stormfire to ignite people with that explosion for 5%. We combine that with Storm's Gift, and this is how we're shocking people. Once we've killed an enemy, that enemy becomes shocked, and it proliferates 15 radius. So essentially, an enemy will die here. That enemy won't explode, but it'll shock all the enemies next to it, which will then make those enemies explode, and thus chain proliferate. So these combined can allow us to make some chain explosions, and I'm going to demonstrate this in a map. Now, this is just basically inserting this into my OP harvest gear setup. So I picked a map with all res and more monster life, so they should be pretty tanky monsters, and I fully expect it to still chain well and work well. But here we go, straight into the strand map. Let's try to demonstrate how this works real quick here for you guys. But this is basically my plan for harvest, so to speak. You see it has the same chaining explosion effect that we previously had here. Not super dense map-wise. Got a cannot die pack, which is a little unfortunate. But basically, as long as there's enemies next to each other, and we have a decent amount of increased AoE and fire damage over time scaling, there will be some pretty nice chains here. Keep running into cannot die packs, which is a little unfortunate. Now, in the Endless Delve, I had played a Trickster, and I wanted to test out basically low-life Trickster in the Endless Delve, an ES version of Trickster, and I never really got the gear I wanted for that to actually work. So I'm going to end up making this build in the Flashback League as a Trickster to hopefully get a good idea or good feel. Breaches are kind of slow, it's kind of a waste of time. But to basically get a good idea or feel for how this works as a life-based Trickster, even though I'm pretty sure Chieftain will be a little bit stronger. I'll make a build guide for it and basically test it out in Harvest, see how it works, see how it feels, so that way I can give you guys a good example of what we're looking at and what we're dealing with here with doing this sort of setup for chain explosions with Righteous Fire. So hopefully that gives you a good idea of how to set up an explosion RF bomber. I'm going to be making this in Flashback. Previously, the past month and a half, I've kind of struggled to get some content together and do a good job making some videos because I've been busy basically taking care of my baby, who's basically right back there sleeping right now. But hopefully, I think since I have 3 weeks rather than 1 week periods for the Flashback League, I should have enough time to put together a RF bomber based on this sort of setup here. I'm planning to do it as a Trickster, so that way I can hopefully respec and try out an Energy Shield Trickster as well, considering I wanted to do that in Delve, but I never really got the gear in the 1 week I needed to. I basically played over the weekend and then haven't been able to play since. So hopefully I'll be able to try this as a life-based Trickster, give you guys a good build guide for it. I'll also probably be providing a Chieftain tree for it as well. And also I'm going to be trying out an ES Trickster afterwards. That's my plans. We'll see if I actually get to it or not. I've been kind of struggling to actually be able to put the time into POE to put these build guides together. So that's pretty much it. I hope you guys are having a good one, and thank you all for watching. Peace out.